Remind you, but I forgot. Okay. All right. So the next step that you want to do is practice answers to common interview questions. And later on, you'll get a chance to do a fun activity. So practice that to start here. And the other part is you want to study the job description to understand. And you'll remember that Thais gave you an example yesterday when she showed you a job description and she showed you how to find the keywords. So you can use that for your resume, for your cover letter, but then also you can practice to use it in your interview. Because remember, all of these steps, you're doing it in a certain order, but you're combining it as you are practicing and learning it, okay? The other part is when you want to practice, you can practice with a friend, or in this case, with your classmate. So someone from your class, you can practice asking each other the interview questions, like next week when you practice doing a mock interview. You can prepare examples from your work. So what we mean by this is that when you are, before you do an interview, you can write out what are examples of things that you accomplished in your job, because what will happen is your resume at the interview, they will look at it and they will ask you questions about that. So you want to be prepared to answer questions about your resume, okay? For the interview, the night before you get ready, actually I'm in my room here. So what I usually do is hang my stuff up over there, and I have a set place of what I want to wear the night before or the next day, but I do it the night before. This will save you time. This will save you mental energy. So in case you are running late for some reason, you don't want to forget something. So have everything ready the night before. All right. Now, on this next part, making a great first impression. So I want to ask a question. So feel free to unmute yourself. What does it mean to you to make a great first impression?
I think so. The
Punctual.
Okay, punctual. What else?
The clothes.
The clothes.
Nice
Okay.
clothes.
Nice clothes. Okay.
Yeah.
And be calm.
Be kind.
Tall, clearly.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again, Nerida?
Talk clearly.
Talk clearly. Yeah. Okay. So be on time, punctual, wear nice clothes,
Yeah.
and talk clearly. Those are all
Here
excellent. Sorry, Nerida, you muted. Say again.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
Here the answer after, before you. Rear the question before you answer.
Very good. Yeah, and what she said there is going to come up in a slide.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of the top things. So what she's talking about is listening, and listening so that you hear what they're asking. And so you understand to be able to speak.
Yeah.
Remember what she said, speak clearly.
Yeah.
So she's combining those two. And I heard Raphael said about punctual, and a few others talk about how you dress. So now let's look at this next.
Well dressed.
Say that again.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Did you say?
Well dressed.
Okay. Thank you. And this gives you a graphic of what percentage, how important certain things are. So you talked about dressing nice. So how you look is 55% of what you make an impression. Now you have about 7 seconds or less to make a positive or good first impression. Okay. So you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So you got to do it well the first time. So dress well and speak clearly. So how you sound is 38%. So some of the answers you gave cover most of the pie that we see in front of us. And then what you say is about 7%. So it's all important, but the two that you talked about, how you look and how you sound, are the two most important in making a positive first impression. So very good job.
Wow.
Did you have a question?
No.
Oh, Rafael? Okay.
Any question?
All right. So now we're going to go a little bit more on how you look. This is known as what's called the dress code. Okay.
Mhm.
So just like when you watch your favorite team and they wear a certain uniform, right, to do their job. Well, when you go to apply for a job, you have a dress code. So they want you to dress properly for the position and the organization. So for example, if you were applying to a bank, any of us who've been to a bank to deposit our money, take out money, do something with the account, notice how they dress, very professional, right? They don't wear what you would see if you work in construction. It's different. So depending on the job you're applying for, that's how you can dress. No strong perfume or cologne. Always use clean clothing, but also make sure you're clean too as well. So if you have any coffee, make sure don't spill any coffee before you go to the interview. And if you have any doubts or questions, you can ask your career coach, you can ask your teacher, you can ask your classmates, what do you think about, I'm going to wear this, this is what I'm thinking, and we can help you out, okay? Here are some examples. So you can see on the left where it says business casual. Does everyone see that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what can you tell me? What's the difference between the one on the left and the one on the right? So if I wanted to apply for a job in the bank, how would I dress? Like the left or the right?
It's
The
professional.
right.
All right.
The right.
Right. Okay.
Right. Yes.
And you notice the difference. He's wearing a tie, right? That makes a difference. He's wearing a suit and he's wearing a dress shirt. The other one, he's wearing a casual shirt. The material looks like jeans
Mhm.
called denim and khaki pants. So
Sure.
business casual sometimes looks like that. Sometimes they can wear jeans with a shirt. So when you hear or see if the job, they tell you it's business casual. Sometimes when you interview, they may tell you how you can dress. It's better to dress very nice and be overdressed than to not be dressed nice enough. So even if you don't know, you can go professional like the right. And then later they can tell you for the next step or the next interview, it's okay, you don't need to wear a tie. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
In fact, I did this when I did my Zoom video. I wore a tie and a shirt for my Zoom because I wanted to be prepared. When I interviewed with Thais, not today, no tie today. So here's another example that you can see, and you can see we have different people, right? Different hairstyle, different color clothing. Some have a tie, some don't. So this gives you an idea of what you can choose to still be able to look dress well. Remember to make that positive first impression. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to talk about the other part that you mentioned, which was punctuality. Punctuality, what does this mean to you?
You don't be late or it become 5 minutes or 10 minutes early.
Thank you, Maria.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I like the 30 minutes early.
30 minutes early?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I need the showing address. I don't know. I'm the traffic. I don't. because I think the train delay, I think it. So I like the arrive 30 minutes early.
Okay, very good. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else have something they'd like to share?
Exactly.
Okay,
The hour.
Luis?
Exactly the hour. It's 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Okay, so you're saying to arrive, if your appointment's at 3 o'clock, you arrive at 3 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so one thing that we advise about that is that it's may be different, like as far as, and this is something we talk about in, I'm a little bit familiar with different culture and the expectation. Here in US, if they say 3 o'clock, it's better that you arrive 10, 15 minutes before 3,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because on time
Mm-hmm.
what could happen is one small delay, like Rafael was talking about, a delay in the parking lot, a delay in the elevator, and delay in, somebody that's in line, or
Traffic.
if you have to do security check to get into a building, or you have to use the bathroom because you're nervous.
Mm-hmm.
This actually, happened. So I'm speaking
Yeah.
from experience. So any of these things you want to be ahead. Now, Rafael, I know you said 30 minutes, depending on how you're traveling. So I heard you say if you're going by train. So you do want to have a map or a GPS or what you use to figure out the time. But like somebody just said, there could be traffic, there could be, unfortunately, an accident that is somebody else
Mm-hmm.
that can block you. So you have to think about these things. But if you arrive early, like half an hour or even more than 15 minutes, don't go inside yet. If you can, stay outside. Try to arrive the earliest 10 to 15 minutes, because it shows that you are respectful of their time, but also that you're following their direction. So it's recommended 10 to 15 minutes early. And what can you do during the time that you arrive early? If you arrive 15 minutes early and you're waiting in, let's say like an office before
Mm-hmm.
somebody brings you inside to talk to the hiring person, what can you do?
Training for answer the question, training the speak and whatever, and be calm. Do
Exactly. So one thing, remember when we talk.
I don't word in English.
No, you got it. You got it. I'm following you.
But
So that's good advice to breathe. Go ahead, Luis. You have something to add?
breathe and be calm and train the question, answer your document, okay, anything.
Okay. One thing that we advise is not to be on your phone, right? So don't be on your phone texting, on WhatsApp,
Yeah.
watching YouTube. Just put your phone off.
Mute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mute, put it away in your pocket or, somewhere safe. And
Because we need the focal. Yeah.
yep, so you want to remember when we showed you in the beginning, the people who were waiting. Let's go back so you can see. So here, so these people are waiting with their resume before the interview. So in fact, let's just go back and look. You can see that they have different expression on their face.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I agree with what Rafael is saying. You want to breathe even before you go. Take a breath and relax. One thing that I like to do before I go to an interview, especially if I'm going in my car, I like to listen to music that makes me happy. So I have like the happy song, I have some bachata, whatever music makes me feel happy, I listen to that, or I listen to something funny. Because if
Yeah.
you listen to something funny, it makes you laugh. And when you laugh, you breathe. And also you get good chemicals flowing through your body, endorphins, you know?
Yeah.
So these are things that you can do to relax yourself before you go in. But when you're there, the other thing that's important to remember is anybody that you talk to, security, the secretary, receptionist, the janitor, anybody going into the building and there, be polite, be nice, be respectful, because
Yes.
they are observing and listening to everyone you talk to because they are part of the company. And later on, if they ask, how did they treat you?
Yeah.
That might affect your opportunity. Okay. So let's now that we were talking about breathing, let's take a moment to take a quick break just to breathe and to stretch. So if you want to go ahead and stretch a little bit, we're about halfway through on our presentation. So just take a moment to relax and
Thais, Wilfried is trying to get in.
oh, I don't see it here. I don't know if Thais, you have it?
I have it, but
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay. So now let's continue with our next part. So we talked about the positive first impression. We talked about dress code. Now you're ready for a phone interview. And I believe earlier when you said about listening. So this is what you mentioned about making a good impression. Well, when you're on the phone, you want to do what we call active listening. You want to smile. The other thing I recommend, if you can, is to stand up. So definitely do not lay down. And if you sit, don't sit too relaxed like this. Okay, see how I'm sitting right now? Don't do this. So sit forward, and if possible, stand up. If you have a good Bluetooth, use earbuds like this. And this way your hands can be free if you're someone who likes to talk with your hands. And also so you can write notes. Charge your phone, have your resume ready, and make sure you have a quiet environment. So if you live in a house with other people and you have to do it in your home, let them know, I have a job interview on Zoom at this time. Please, if you can make sure it's quiet, use this so that you can block out any noise. Or if you can find a place, like a space where it's quiet and you have privacy, eliminate your distractions. Make sure your voicemail is set to professional greeting so that in case they have to call you, they know it's your name and that you sound very polite on the voicemail. I already mentioned using the headphones if you have them. When it says write brief notes, those notes are for you to remember as you're doing the interview. So what you can do is, as they say certain things, you can write down those keywords. So then you can ask questions about those things. Okay.
Okay.
You have a question about this so far? What question do you have?
No.
No? Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Smile.
Go ahead.
Hello. And the phone is smile.
Smile. Yeah. The reason why smile, because when you smile, they can hear it in your voice tone. So if you haven't tried this before, I used to work in sales and I used to do this. I used to smile and I used to use a mirror so I can see myself and see that I was smiling to remind myself. And I used to stand up because standing up, you sound more confident. And you want to sound confident and friendly when you're talking.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Now, the virtual interview, that will be like this. So you're very comfortable coming to class and doing a virtual interview. So when you have to do a virtual interview, you can do some of these steps, okay? So one of the steps is to test out your technology before you go into the Zoom. Make sure your camera is working. What I recommend with the Zoom is that you test it before, not like the same day, but before you, so that you know everything's working on your computer, or if you're using your phone, make sure that it's working. Get good natural light so you can have a lamp or something to make sure your light is good. Make sure you have a clean space. So the background, make sure you don't have any pictures or, you know, unclean place, and get familiar with the meeting. So that meeting application would be, in this case, if you're using Zoom. And whatever they ask you to meet by technology, make sure in advance you know how to use it, and don't ask for help or find a way to learn how to use it, okay? Unless they have another option. If they say, do you want to do Zoom or Microsoft Teams, or do you want to use, you know, some other Google Meet, just tell them, oh, Zoom will be great because I take classes on Zoom, okay?
Okay.
Okay. On the virtual interview, we mentioned this briefly. So if you have roommates or family, let them know ahead of time. Have a glass of water, or in my case, water nearby. Have a copy of your resume. Close any tabs or windows that you're not using. Open the link 5 to 10 minutes earlier. This is to test your video and your speaker. Pause notifications so that you don't get any notifications that distract or interrupt you when you're on the Zoom. And smile is a virtual handshake. So again, when you smile, you show that you're friendly and you're confident and happy.
Always interview need the smile.
For the whole interview?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can sometimes be serious if they ask a question, you know, because it shows that you're listening. So you can change for sure. What questions do you have for what we covered so far? Anyone have any questions about what we covered on the phone interview or the virtual interview? So virtual is like online, just like this, okay?
Okay.
Now the in-person interview, we talked a little bit about this. So this is where you treat everyone you meet with respect. You're going to be nice and polite, confident body language, good posture. Before you arrive to the interview, like we talked about, make sure you turn your phone off or silent. And do not look on, so see how she's sitting right now? She looks a little serious. You don't want to be looking at your phone during the interview, okay? And you want to be fully present with your body language. So like Raphael suggested to us before, breathe, but you don't have to show them that you're breathing. They don't want to see that you're in, you know, you just look and you can just calmly breathe, count to 3, and then release or exhale, right? So, and then relax. All right. So for the in-person interview, if you're sitting and someone's approaching, it's polite. So if they approach you like this, make sure you stand up and you go to stand up and shake their hand. Okay, like what she's showing us in the picture. She's standing up, she's smiling, shaking hand. So you stand up, shake their hand, look them in the eye, smile, and make sure you use a firm handshake, okay? And this is whether man or woman. I know this is showing 2 women, but it's the same. You use the same firm handshake.
Vire à gauche. Vire à force pas manger.
And this next part, I have a video that I'm going to share so we can see. Let me just, 1 second, I'm just gonna stop. Oh, and I can see all of you guys now. 1 moment. Let me just get my next one. Go ahead.
Teacher, excuse
Yes. Yes, Luis.
me. Which of the different ways is more effective?
For the types of interview?
Yes.
So the company will tell you the steps. So as far as effective, you have to follow what they tell you they expect. So what you want to do is prepare for all the 3 types. And that's why we give you the strategies and the steps for each one, what to do. So you are prepared for a phone interview, you are prepared for online or virtual interview like here, or in person. In case you have to go to the office or to the business directly. Because many companies may have all 3 as part of the process that you are interviewing. So sometimes, like when I interviewed with Thais for this job, I had to do all 3. Okay. So
Yes,
it depends on the company. So be prepared for all 3. If you want to be effective and have increase your chance of getting hired. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Anyone else? That was an excellent question. All right. So let's see here. We have a video that we're going to watch together, and this is going to show you an interview and how it looks. 1 second. Let me just make this full screen. All right, so let me make sure that we can hear this together.
Can you put more volume on that? It's very.
Is that better?
Actually,
Speakers
no.
don't have sound.
Okay.
Doesn't have volume.
Sorry. It's let me just pause it 1 second.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's just rewind this a little bit.
Thank you.
Can you hear it now?
Yeah, not that much, but I think it's a problem with YouTube.
Check the volume even to see.
Maybe if you put the volume from your computer.
Yeah, I have it on 66. Better?
No, it's not.
Check it into 100 to see, please.
Sorry?
Reading is okay.
Sorry. Go ahead again.
Check it into 100 to see.
the computer is on 100.
Usually there's a problem when we try to share videos from YouTube on our Zoom call. I don't know why, but we usually have it. Just let it go because it has a closed
The
caption.
titles, right?
Yeah, there is catch.
It has
Hey.
closed caption. Students can read it while they're watching it, even though the volume is low.
Can you see the closed caption?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
Okay, it's gone now, but it was there before. Okay, here you
It's
go.
there now.
Okay, we got it.
Events or topics in mind. You can't possibly predict what they're going to ask.
Oh,
Awesome.
good.
Much
Practice.
better.
Good volume, yeah.
Why do you want to work here? What makes you unique? Let's see what our interviewer asks.
So I want to hear more. Tell me a little about your experience and what you bring to this role.
Pause. When this is asked, they're looking to learn what makes you stand out. Be honest with your answers. That means having to pause and think for a second. That is all right. Think about your past experiences and how the role lines up with your future goals. It never hurts to be honest.
Great question. Ever since I was young, I've always been the organized one in my family. Whether it was helping my parents schedule vacations or color coordinating my closet, naturally that lifestyle got me here, project management. I've been a people person for as long as I can remember. Plain and simple, I love team building and making sure everyone has a part. Just the other month.
Oh, just really quick, don't speak negatively about previous places you've worked. Instead, talk about what you've learned.
I helped lead a team of 5 to deliver a 3-week sales project a few days ahead of schedule. I'd love to bring these things here.
Perfect. A response like this not only answers the question, but also shows off the personality. But remember, there's no one right way to interview and answer questions. Be yourself and let your personality shine. Be aware of your movements. Practice polite, confident body language. Subtly miming your interviewer's posture can actually create a sense of connection. Of all places, unnecessary movements are hard to ignore in an interview. Whether it's tapping your fingers or bouncing your leg, be aware and stay present.
Hey, it's been great chatting so far. I guess my last question is, do you have any questions for me?
Ooh, this is a hot one. Make sure to have a short list of questions for your employer in your back pocket. Ask the questions if you got the job. If tomorrow was your first day, what would you want to know from the manager? Even if you don't have any burning questions, asking a few shows that you did your homework and that you really care. Some include, what do you like best about working here? What are some mistakes people have made in this position? What is a goal you're currently working toward? How will performance be evaluated?
Well, I did read that you're expanding your sophomore team next quarter. I'm curious how you plan to carry that out.
The interview isn't actually over. Always follow up within 24 hours with a thank you email to the hiring manager. This can be a quick note simply thanking them for their time, or a longer one that elaborates on some of the things you talked about. It's key to leaving a lasting impression. This was the breakdown of an interview. Till next time.
Okay, thank you very much. Apologize for that technical difficulty there. But even when you go through that, if you have that situation and you're, make sure that you just handle it calmly as you can. Okay, so we're going to switch back to our presentation. And let's just do that. Oh, on, sorry. There it is. Okay. All right, so we'll go back to this. So what did you guys think of the that video? What did you notice? Did you notice some of the things we talked about, like making a positive first impression? What did she do?
So I understand anything in the video.
You didn't understand?
No, I understand.
Oh, okay. Did you see when she asked questions about, she said, I read that you are going to have a new software. And in the beginning of our presentation, we talked about the importance to research the company. So all of the steps that we have been showing you and talking about is to prepare you. So when you combine it in the interview, you make the impression, you listen, you speak clearly. So many of the things that you were all saying comes together so that when it's time for the interview, then you can be prepared. So to answer Luis's question about being effective, this is all putting it together. And you saw that she was prepared. She had questions. So what you want to do when you go to the interview, make sure you bring copies of your resume, pen and paper, write out your questions. I usually recommend writing at least 5 questions. It's up to you, but when you write your questions, remember to listen, because if they answer your question and you ask the question, it may show to them that you didn't listen. So if you write questions, make sure that if they answer, just use your pen to make a note of what they answered or to cross it out so you know not to ask that question. Bring your list of references, breath mints to freshen your breath, a briefcase, a portfolio, so that's something to hold your resume. And I think, Rafael, you talked about this earlier, directions to get to the interview. So if you go by train or by car, make sure you have the directions. Okay.
Okay.
When we saw the video, was there anything you think that they could have done better or differently from the video? What was anything that you, or something you saw that you didn't understand or that you could have done better?
Oh, for me, it's better. I'm look her sit down.
Yeah.
History and her don't nervous.
Okay.
I think her prepared a lot for the interview, because always interview and the test always is be nervous.
Yeah.
So we need to prepare always. I look the video. The girl, the woman is very.
Yeah, she's relaxed.
Very prepared.
Thank you. And Nereida, you notice that she looks relaxed?
Yes.
Yeah. So
she's comfortable.
This is another way that you can prepare. You can watch videos like this, so you can get example of what you can do. Okay.
Teacher.
Yes.
Yes, I have one question. Is Beth, if I have any question?
Sure, go ahead. You have a question?
No, if in interview, if is obligatory, I have a question for the.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes, when you interview, we recommend that you have questions. When the video that they showed, that he said, why you have questions is because it shows that you are prepared. It shows that you care. It shows you're interested. It shows,
Okay.
you know, these things. Because if you don't ask questions, one of the impression, you know how we talked about first impression. Well, when you interview, for them, it can be the last impression because it's the last step that they remember you. And you remember, you want to, as Thais said yesterday, you want to stand out, which means you want them, when they think of maybe 5 people or how many people they interview, they want, you want them to think, wow, she was really different. She was unique. She was better than the others. And if nobody else asks questions and you're the only one, that could be the one thing that they say, you know what, she really cares. She really is interested and invested to work with us. So let's give her another chance, or let's give her an opportunity. So for sure, always prepare. And I usually say at least about 5 questions, and he gave you examples and we'll give you examples. This way you have different questions, but that was a very good question. Thank you for asking.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now we've talked about the phone interview, the virtual interview, the in-person interview, and now we come to the mock interview. The mock is just another way to say that you practice, okay? So when you think of mock, it's because you're going to practice a simulation of an actual job interview. This gives you, as a job seeker, an opportunity to practice the interview, but receive feedback. So the same way we watch the video of the people, that was almost like a mock interview because they were showing us a video of them having an interview. Okay, so that's what it would look like if you were to record it. So now, oh, someone's dog, I think, wants to get ready for the interview. He wants to practice. One second, just, oh, there we go. Okay, so now this goes to what you were just asking about questions. Okay, so yes, be prepared for their questions. That's one part. So you want to be ready for their questions, but then also you want to prepare your questions. Okay, so you can combine those together. Now, Thais and I, Thais, are you ready for our? We are going to show you a demonstration of an interview. Are you here? Let me see.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there you are. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to, what we say is turn the tables. So Thais interviewed me before, a month ago, but now I'm going to interview her. So she's going to pretend to be like you to get looking for a job. And I'm going to ask her questions, okay? So one of the common questions that you may hear in a job interview or beginning, it sounds like this, okay? So I'll start off, Thais, and then we can just go with it. Ready?
Just to remember something. Hi, everybody, again. So we're gonna do twice. Hi, we're gonna do twice. One is gonna be the correct way to do, and the other one is gonna be the wrong way to do. And after that, we're gonna invite you to let us know which one is correct and which one is wrong and why. Okay, so pay attention. I'm gonna do my best.
Okay, and you can look on the slide here to give you an idea of what to listen, what to look for. Okay. I'm trying to find you. I can't see. Okay, I'm just going to say it. So tell me about yourself, Thais.
Hi, Ivan. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your time. So I am a journalist. I graduated in Brazil 10 years ago. And since then, I have been working in a nonprofit environment. I have experience working as a manager and as a coordinator in Brazil and also in Angola. And with those several years that I have experience in management, I got to work in different environments and in a very multicultural environment. And I know that your company relates with that. I know that your company has a multicultural environment, and it would be great for me to be part of your team and bring all those experience that I have.
Thank you. Okay.
Time.
So now we're going to give you the other example. Okay. So you heard that first answer. Now we're going to do the same question and she's going to answer. Okay. So hi, Thais, welcome. And can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
So I am 37 years old. I did the graduation in journalism. I have a son, 3 years old, and I moved here for the United States 4 years ago. I am still adapting myself, to the weather. The weather here is so bad. So sometimes I feel like what I'm doing here. But, I have experience in management. I know how to deal with people. I know how to do my job. You know what I mean? Yes. And I love to play with my kid. He's so fun. He has just 3 years old, but he's so smart and we like to play together. I love to be with my son.
That's wonderful. Can you be a little bit more specific about your experience relevant to the position we have for you?
Oh, yes. So as I said to you, I have experience in management. I work, several years in Brazil in different companies, and I worked for a year in Angola. It was not so good. The company were like, strange people out there. And I came back to Brazil and keep working. Brazil, the employers in Brazil, they are like, I don't know, it's just not a nice place to work. Yeah, but I know how to work with people. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so now we're going to pause. And we want to ask you, so which one was the professional? Which one focus on one story?
No professional.
Which one was not? So
the second.
The second one was not or was?
The second
was
is
not.
no
The
professional.
first is was, but the second no.
The second no.
First.
Okay.
First is good.
Okay. So the first one was the correct way. And why was it the correct way? What did you hear about it?
Her posture.
Posture, concise.
Thais, the second, don't connect your story to the position.
Okay, so she didn't connect her story to the position, so that was not correct.
Only speak the children.
Speak another order.
3 years.
Her face too, teacher. Her face is like, I don't care. Yeah.
I honestly couldn't see her face.
The second she
like,
speak,
I don't care.
she speak better than another.
Okay. Good.
No,
There's
no interesting.
Okay, she didn't seem interested. Very good. All right, so this is all very good. You all are getting, so now you saw the video and then you saw an example. Okay, so now you're getting in your mind to know what is the correct way, how you can correctly interview, right? To do from the beginning, how you dress, how you look, how you sound, be prepared, have questions, be prepared to answer questions. Like right now, she had to be prepared to answer the question. Now, in the next slide, let's continue. Oh, sorry, I went a little too fast. So here, this is another common question they may ask you to talk about what are your strengths. What does it mean when someone says strength? Do you know this word?
Is the power.
Okay, very good. So it's like, it means what you can do well. Okay.
Okay.
So if you're able to do a certain skill, remember when we talked about the skills from yesterday, well, the things that you can do well, that becomes your strength, right? The things that you don't do well, that is not your strength. That is what sometimes is called weakness, okay? Or in certain jobs, they'll say how you can improve. And we can practice and show you how to, and when we coach you, we can help you with that. So what are your strengths? Be prepared to answer a question about this, okay? And your strength is not about like for me, oh, I'm an excellent bachata dancer. You know, that doesn't apply to the job unless I'm applying for a job as a dance teacher or Dancing with the Stars or something like this, which is not yet, maybe in the future. So tell me about a time you needed to deal with a stressful situation. This is another common question that you should prepare for. When you are doing this question, the important thing to remember is to talk about not only the situation, but the steps that you did to solve the situation or problem. So if you in advance, before the interview, prepare, you can think about certain situations, write those situations, and just write, you know, what is the first thing you did to deal with that situation? You know, what, and similar to how you prepare for an interview, you will have steps, right? We talked about the steps of resume, the steps of cover letter, applications, right? There's steps. So tell them the steps of how you had to deal with the problem and how you got from problem to solution. And if you can talk about it in 3 to 4 steps, that is good for them because they'll remember and understand, and also easy for you, okay? What questions do you have about these two that I just talked about, strengths or stressful situation? Have any of you dealt with something like this in one of your interviews that you have questions about?
No, that's okay.
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 All right. So do you need to have questions? Now, this is something that you asked earlier. Yes. Good questions set you apart from the crowd because it shows you are prepared. It shows you're a professional, and it shows you care and are interested in the opportunity. These are some other common questions that you may hear in an interview. Actually, can I have some help here? Maybe, can I get a volunteer to read the first question? and then someone to do the other? Who
Can
would
you
like to read?
describe a typical day for someone in this position?
And someone else to do the next one?
What are the top challenges for his job?
Okay. And the next one?
How do you define success for this position?
Thank you. And the next one?
What would be your advice for someone new on this position?
Okay, thank you. Now, these questions you can save and you can use for your next interview. So you are prepared. So we help you and know if these questions are important for you to know the answer, then great. If there's something else more important, then ask yourself, what is important for me to know about this company before I make a decision or before I choose to work for them? And whatever that is that's important to you, write a question about that. You know, one thing that I will advise when it comes to asking questions, do not ask questions, ask more questions about you notice none of these questions ask about how much the pay is. Okay. Some jobs that you apply will tell you the pay in the beginning. But it's more important to talk about the job, the responsibility, how they define success, how they evaluate you. Show them that you're really interested more in the job, the culture, the training, things like this before you talk about money, because you want for them to show that they are interested in you and that they want to take you from the first interview to the second before you talk about the money or the benefits or things like this. Okay.
Okay.
If they talk about it first, if they say, just so you know, we pay this much per hour, it's 40 hours, we pay overtime, we give you, if they say, great, just make a note. And now you know, okay, I don't really have to talk about that. I can talk about something else. Okay. Because this is a common question people ask. When do I ask about money, or how should I ask about money? It's better not to ask in the first interview. That's the common advice that most career coaching and experts would say. Don't ask in the first interview. But if it's important to you, you can sometimes see it in the job ad. You will know in advance. What questions do you have about what we've talked about so far to this point in anything in the presentation? What could I clarify or answer for you?
I'm okay, teacher.
I know you've only known me for 2 days. Don't be shy.
You're very clean.
Everything good? Okay.
Very clean.
All right. So don't get nervous, but at the end, there's a huge test, and this counts for your graduation. So no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Everyone's like, wait, what? Okay. So now follow up. Now, I'm not sure if this is common in your culture, but even here, a lot of people don't use. What do I mean by follow up? What does this mean to you? Okay. So let me give you some. So when you finish your interview, after you complete that, say, first interview, you can send a thank you letter. Now, many times it's going to be, most of the time, it can be through email. I have myself in the past sent a personal letter, but it was something where I interviewed and there wasn't a job, but they wanted to keep my resume and the interview in mind. And they said, we will let you know in the future if we have an opportunity. Because I knew this, I knew that I needed to stand out. So I wrote a personalized thank you letter to the president of the company. And I used a thank you letter that had the letter R because his name was Ron. And then I wrote out very personalized note about thanking him for the opportunity. He remembered that when later on, 2 months after, he called me to do another interview. So now in some jobs, I haven't always done a thank you, but it can be a simple send an email thanking them for their time and the opportunity. When should we send it? When do you think is a good idea to send it? So if you did an interview today, well, maybe not today because you have class. Let's say tomorrow you have an interview, right? And you use all of this. After you finish the interview, you think it went well. We prepared you, you did all the steps. When should you send them a thank you letter as a follow-up? Or a thank you email?
After the interview?
Very good. Yeah. Yeah. After the interview. So you can send it right away. And to answer the question, how? If you were communicating by email and you have the email of the person who interviewed you, you can email them directly. And it's a simple email thanking them for their time and the opportunity. And, and you're not asking any questions. You're just keeping it like very simple. And you're keeping your, make sure your emails look professional with your name and contact information in case they need to call you, make sure it has the correct phone number, things like that. Thais, anything else you would add to this?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So everyone has it. You have the thank you letter, email. Has anyone had experience where they did an interview and they did any follow-up and how well that worked for you? Anyone can share? Okay. All right. So this is an example of what a thank you letter would look like. So you can see that it says, "Dear Mr. or Ms., the recruiter last name." Actually, maybe you can help me out. So who can read the first sentence for me, please? On this, help me with this thank you letter. Who would like to read the first sentence?
Me?
Go ahead.
Dear Mrs. Recruiter last name, thank you once again for meeting with me earlier today and for discussing the position name role. I enjoyed learning more about the position and company.
Okay. Who would like to read the next part? The next sentence?
As I mentioned during our conversation, I think that my skills experience in a given specialty would be particularly valuable in contributing to your work on area or project types.
Thank you. And the next last part?
If there is anything else that I can provide in order to assist your decision, please let me know. I look forward to waiting for your son. Kind regards.
Regard.
I don't know. Kind regards. Sorry.
Oh, you got it. And very good. Thank you very much for helping me with that. So that gives you an example of how to write a thank you letter. And this is what you can send after your first interview. Okay.
It's necessary always. Oh, for education, I need to write the letter.
Well, I would say it's one of those things again where it helps you to stand out, because this is going to be like in the beginning, you made the first impression, and this will be the last impression. So if they interview many people and nobody else send a thank you letter, but you're the only one, that one action can make you stand out the way Thais said, stand out from the crowd. Because always remember, when you're interviewing for a job, you are interviewing with other people for maybe one position, so there may be other people like you who are trying to get this job. So you want to make this person feel like, yes, I want this person on my team. I want this person to work with me.
Okay. Understand.
So we highly recommend that you do it. The other part that people ask, you don't need to send it for every step. So how you can do it is send it in the first interview. Now, sometimes they'll interview a second and a third time. And depending on the job, it could even be 4 and 5 times in the interview. You'll send it the first time. And then at the end, after they offer you a job, you can do like a thank you if you choose. But always just that first one is the most important one.
Okay.
Thais, anything else that you wanted to add? No? Okay, so let's go on to the next part. All right. So how to manage anxiety and expectations. We talked a little bit about this earlier, the importance of breathing, right? Breathing, smiling, laughing, listen to music, do all of these things if it helps you before. But breathing you can do during. Visualize your success. You can do this, of course, before. The night before you fall asleep and you want to dream about this, being ready, you can visualize this. Arrive with enough time. So we talked about this, 10 to 15 minutes early. Be careful what you eat and drink. That means so you don't spill coffee or Dunkin' Donuts or something on you. Be prepared with your resume, your cover letter, pen. What I usually say when you bring a pen, I actually recommend, I actually recommend you use 2 pens, because if one stops working, you have a backup. Do your research about the company, the organization, and about the position. If you remember or you watch that video again, you can hear that she said, I noticed that you're going to do a new software. How do you plan to do that? This shows that she did her research and she was prepared. You can do the same. Be prepared to answer interview questions and be prepared to ask interview questions. Okay, so these are things you can do to manage your anxiety and expectations. All right. So thank you very much. That concludes our how to master the job interview. Are there any questions you have? I'm just going to stop the screen share so I can see all of you. All right.
Hi, guys.
What questions do you have about what we covered there? How about this? What is one thing? Oh, it looks like Maria. Maria, oh no, sorry, that was my own hand raising. What's one thing that you remember from this presentation that you will apply, that you will use for your next steps to be able to be ready for your interview? What's one thing that you will apply?
Is me Maria Silva?
Yeah, go ahead, Maria. What's one thing? Go ahead.
Okay, say again, please.
So what's one thing from today that you learned that you will use for your job interview?
Um, to, I don't know why I say this, but the right position and, oh, the question or the,
Anything.
anything,
Fine.
okay.
Yeah, any one thing.
Okay, the right position and made clear when I don't know what to say this, but the short answer, not short answers,
The answers, to have a clear answer.
the clear answers, exactly, not short, the clear answers.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marcia, was there something you want to share?
Security net you when you speak.
Okay. So be secure, confident when you speak.
Confident, yes.
And you, Marcia, you had something? Oh, it looked like your box was lighting, so I thought you were speaking. Sorry.
Maxi, do you want to say something?
No, teacher.
Okay.
Okay, who else? What's one thing that you learned today that you will remember to use?
I need a smile for interview.
Okay. All right. Yeah, smile. Very good. Who
Me,
else?
remember to write the letters to after before the interview.
The thank you letter after the interview?
Yes.
Yeah. Very good. Remember to send a thank you letter.
Yes.
Thais, you had something you wanted to add?
I will not talk about my son anymore on the interview.
Ernesto, go ahead.
Ernesto has his hand
Yeah.
up. Ernesto, you want to ask a question?
Go ahead, Ernesto.
He has his hands up.
Yeah, I see.
Can you, Ernesto, you want to say something?
No.
Oh. So,
Nereida, did you want to say something? It looked like you.
I'm good.
You good?
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for this opportunity. We appreciate it, and hopefully you learned. You have the questions, you have all of the steps, so you should feel confident. You do need to practice, because that helps. Remember, anytime we watch a game, anytime we watch a movie, anytime we watch a show, those things that we watch, they have practiced 100, 1,000 times for us to enjoy that performance. So next time you watch a game, if you watch the Celtics tonight, hopefully they do well. Or if you watch any kind of movie, any kind of Netflix show, and you think, wow, they're so amazing, they're so funny. Practice. This can be you when you interview in your next interview. And of course, we're here for you. The English for New Bostonian coaching team, your teachers, your classmates, we're all here to support and encourage you in your next steps. And we wish you the best of success. So thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
We remember
Thank you,
our
everybody.
smile and breath.
I want to ask you guys something. I want to ask you two things, actually. First, thank you for having us. We hope you learned good things for us. We did all the presentation with a lot of, kindness and love. I hope you guys like it. Two things. I'm going to send through your teacher one survey. And it's really important to us. It's a survey for you guys to evaluate our workshop and to say what you had learned from us and what you like and what you may, didn't like. Please answer the survey. It's a good material for us to improve our work. And the second thing that I would like to ask is for you to turn off your camera if it's possible, if you are comfortable with that, because I want to take a picture.
Turn on your cameras if you don't mind, please, so Thais can have a picture for their organization.
You are beautiful, Zaida. Don't worry about that. Just for us to have, these, I know that your class is finishing. And I would like to, next year to think about you and have your face on our screen. Thank you very much for you guys that turn it on your camera. Now I'm going to take 2 pictures. Please smile.
Smile like the interview, smile.
Yeah. One more, 1 second. Again, smile.
Smile.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
This is really special for us. Thank you. Thank you, Antonio, for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No,
for
don't
your
leave
time.
yet. Just a second, please. I just want to show you something, okay?
Okay.
So, students, I'm going to share my screen. So, today, you will receive this. This is the questions for the interview on Tuesday, okay?
Okay.
You see the questions are here, and you can answer the question. You can write down your answers and practice it throughout the weekend, okay?
Okay.
There's about, let me see, about 11 questions, okay? Remember, these questions gonna be related to your resume that you created, okay? The teacher will ask you, what job do you want to apply? And then it is the job that you have in your resume. Remember what we spoke. I don't want a resume about the job you're doing now. I would like you to have a resume about the job you want to have in the future. You understand? And practice all this movement, what you're supposed to do. All right? One thing I want to say too, remember we have a graduation on the 4th of June, Sunday. So please, everybody, come to the graduation, okay?
Okay.
So I can give you a certificate like this.
Teacher, I have one question.
Yes.
Next we have interview. It's necessary to use clothes.
Wait.
Good
You're breaking up. So tell me again, please.
For interview for next week.
Yes.
Need us.
No se escucha.
I think she's asking about dress code.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Dress code.
It's going to be on Zoom, okay? Or Zoom or phone or video.
Yeah.
Video call. The dress code, it's not necessary. If you're going to work, you have to do it. Okay. But if you want to make that interview more meaningful, if you want to look nice, it's fine. It's even better. Hey, I'm saying, but please don't go do anything extra. What is more important is for you to understand the questions, to answer them, to understand, and to make sure that you have a good feedback from the interviewer. Okay. But yes, if you want to look nice for the interview, it's even better because she's gonna grade you on your looks too. How did you look? How did you sit? How did you speak? All these things. So it's up to you, but it's not really something that, please don't go do anything extra to do that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. One more thing I want to tell everybody. Remember, we have our graduation. Please come to the graduation. Okay. All right. I want to meet you personally, and we need to go there and take a whole picture together, get your certification, and so we can have those politician promises like, so now in Massachusetts, the college, community college is free. Did you know that? It's free. You can go to college for free. We just need to improve this English check where your English is, how we can make it better. But then if you live in Massachusetts, community college is free, right, Thais?
Yeah, the community college is free for the people that is Boston resident. If you live in
Everybody's Boston
Boston,
resident.
if you live in Boston, if you have your zip code Boston area, you can apply for 6 different community college and, you know, start your
If you don't live in
association.
Boston and your cousin lives in Boston, you can go visit your cousin. You understand?
I'm
I'm just saying, there is always
We're
a
saying that.
solution for every, you know, as immigrants, you have to be resourceful. Just think, I'm not trying to give you any idea to do anything out of the ordinary, but it's okay if your cousin has a room in her house that he doesn't look. Please, why don't you just like say, you know, I just move into my cousin's house, and then I'm gonna fly from my cousin. Hey, I'm just giving ideas. There's always, remember, you're an immigrant, and you have to find ways to take advantage of the situation that comes up so you can move faster. All right. I'm not trying to tell you to do anything illegal. What I'm trying to say is that there's always a solution for every challenge that shows up. And all right, before we leave, I just want to say to the coach of English for New Bostonians, Thais, Wilfrix, Ivan, thank you so much for your great, you know, this workshop has been very, very resourceful, informative, and this kind of information that we need to share with our students. It's very important in their pursuit of their you know, their happiness in this society. So job is intrinsically connected to having a better life, and this is the best, is the entrance door for them to start moving up. So thank you so much for your time, for the information. And, you know, next semester on September, we'll have another class, and, you know, we were hoping you guys to join us again by then. All right. Oh,
Awesome.
please,
Thank you.
remember,
Anissa.
we have the graduation. We want to invite you to extend the invitation to you too. Please come and join, you know, to join us in this celebration, please.
I will be there. I will be there. I want to see my students.
Thank you. It looks like
Thank you.
Anissa has a question.
Anissa,
I want to be there.
For the free college, we need the green card, right?
Not necessarily, Anissa. Let's go talk about this, okay?
Yeah, no, you don't need, but also just one piece that I forgot, it's for first graduation. So if it's the first time that you are going to college, you can participate on the program. And answering your question, no, you don't need to have the green card.
No, Anissa, we will talk more about this, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Don't worry, we'll have a plan for everybody. You're gonna be all right, okay? 10 million people came to America, they succeed. Why you are not going to? Of course you are. It's just a plan.
Yes.
We need a plan. You understand? And this is what you're doing. You're having a plan on where I'm going, what to do. That's more important thing. So next Tuesday, I'm going to share the question. Next Tuesday, you will have, again, a Zoom call, and you will have 11 interviewers in the Zoom call with a coach. And then they will put you in a small room, in an individual room with the interviewer, and then you will talk to the interviewer, and then you come back to this big screen, okay? And for the graduation, some of you wants to bring some food from your culture, you're welcome to do so. But if you don't want to bring two, no problem. We will bring pizza too. There will be different food. So please, it's all fine. Another thing, each group should elect one person to speak during the graduation. Okay? This person has to stand in front of everybody and say a few words. You don't see this, but you should know how your English has improved, man. I remember you on the first day of class. And now here, seeing you talking, interacting with the tutors, with the coach from English from the New Boston, you know, English New Bostonians, you have no idea how better your English is. So I'm very happy. You know, this is a major, major, major achievement, not only for the class, for everybody involved, but for you personally. You know, this is a progress that it's so, you know, I'm not gonna talk anymore. I'm just saying you did a great job. This has been one of my most, you know, successful class. And it's because of you, your dedication to this cause and the transformation that I see in you. This is awesome. All right, this is just the beginning. There are more to come. You're going to go to different schools, you're going to meet different teachers, and you're going to continue with your English until you get where you need to go. Okay? So everybody, thanks for coming. Have a great night. God bless you. I'm going to share the questions in the group. Have a look. That's your weekend process of preparing. Ivan, is there any chance you could share that video from Indeed that you had, the video that you showed us? Please share it with me so I can put it in the group so they can see it throughout the weekend too. And they can
okay, teacher.
An idea. Okay.
Yeah, Thais, I can send it to you.
All right. Anybody else has something to say? No?
Just say bye-bye.
Congrats,
Very,
Bye.
very good to see you.
Bye, have a good night.
See you Tuesday.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Hasta luego. Have a great night.
Hasta luego.
See
Hasta
you.
luego.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Congrats, graduates. Hasta domingo.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Havel, don't worry, you're gonna be in the graduation too. But you will be there.
Okay.
Bye,
Take
guys.
care.
Bye.